Sahanavavatu Sahanavunatu Sarvaviryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Invocation mantra for this Upanishad is on page 62. Purnamada Purnamidam. We'll chant that also. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Purnamada Purnamidam. That is whole, this is whole. Means whatever visible universe we see in front of us, it is whole, complete, full. This is an indication for science. Science goes on making all sorts of pronouncements, and after 10 years they come and change it. This universe is full, total, complete. They say universe is expanding. There can be no such thing. Universe is full, total and complete. And it has come from something or manifested from something which is full and total and complete. That is the idea. Purna. Okay. That is because of necessity of reality. Because of necessity, due to the nature of reality, the universe has to be like that. The reality is infinite, so you cannot have a universe in that reality which is finite. That universe will also have to be finite. Let us say, if reality is this big and the universe is only this big, so there is half of the reality where there is no universe, but reality is still there. So existence is still there. God is still there. So God will be the part of that universe. If only half of God is occupied with the universe, which of course is a contradiction in terms because it's infinite. Half of infinite you can never find. That kind of thing. So anyway, by necessity, the universe is also infinite and not expanding or contracting. Or what happens is that it goes into manifest, unmanifest. Manifest, unmanifest. That language you can talk, but you can't talk about the size of the universe. Size of the universe is the size of Bhagavan. Size of reality. Size of reality is infinite. Not that it is expanding or contracting or anything. So, anyway, that verse is just the invocation. The Upanishad itself starts, that verse itself deserves many lectures. But if we start that, we will not go into Upanishad. We will have 3 days. So let us see how much of this Upanishad we can get it. It's a very famous Upanishad, and this first mantra is most famous. First mantra of the Upanishad, very famous. Page 67 is there. Mahatma Gandhi ji used to say that all these scriptures are lost, and this one Eshavasyopanishad is preserved. You can rebuild the whole of Sanatana Dharma from this one Upanishad. And not only that, he condensed that even further to say, if this first mantra itself was saved, all of Sanatana Dharma will be reconstructed from this first mantra. It is so famous. Now see, and is often quoted. You would have heard people quoting it so many times. See this mantra. Om Eshavasyopanishad sarvam Yat kinchit kinchit jagatyam jagat tena tyaktena bhunjithaha ma gridah kasya svidhanam. So grammatically, that's first I'll tell you the meaning. Ishavasyam. Isha means this whole world should be clothed with Isha. Isha means reality, God. The whole, because of the form of the verb which is used. Vasyam, not vasam. Vasyam should be clothed. It means to say, when you look at this world, this is, if you take it grammatically, this is what you should say. When we look at this world, we should look, you see, if you have dark glasses, when you see the world, you see the world dark, isn't it? If you have green glasses, when you see the world, you see it green. One fellow tied his cow there outside, and that all the grass was dried grass, parched. That cow will not eat dried grass. So he went and got some green glasses and put it on for that cow. Now when he came back, that cow ate all those grass. See, if you put on green glasses, you will see green and everything. If you put on dark glasses, you see dark everything. And so red also. Now, we have to put on the glasses of Brahman, reality. That when we look at this world, we see everything as Brahman. Right now, we see everything as disjointed, unconnected, unrelated. Yeah. We see a universe like that. First thing. Second means individualized things which are not connected or anything. Yeah? Second thing is, we see something as mine and others are not mine. Third thing, we see a universe that is changing, that is dying, that is being reborn, because as many things die this side, many things are being reborn on this. We are seeing all these type of things we are seeing in the universe. And also we see some things good, some things evil, some things lovable, like you see some film and one fellow will be playing with two panda bears or two little koala bears and all, cute little bear, and then you'll see some other side, some terrible black mamba, cobra. Who wants to go near that, you know? You want to stay? This. So you see a universe with good and evil, right and wrong. And in our mind, this is the universe that preoccupies our attention. And this type of universe. Mine and yours, fragmentation, theirs and ours, and good and evil and all, that kind of thing. So we see a universe so fragmented with individualized objects, unconnected and all that kind of thing. These are the things that really preoccupy our mind. But beneath that same universe is a reality that is connecting everything. Yeah? So even if you start thinking like a scientist now, you say, okay, at this level we are seeing things, this is white, this is orange, this is brown, we are seeing different colors, we see this object, that object, this person, that person, all separate things. But if we think like a scientist and we go down a little bit deeper into them, we will see that all of them are made up of atoms. So now they seem to be more similar rather than different, isn't it? If you go to the level of atoms. Then if you transcend the atom and you go down to electrons and protons and neutrons, and you go down deeper than that also, all the way down to energy. Now everything seems to be more similar, because it's all made up of energy only. And energy is, one energy, it only goes on changing from kinetic to potential to light to sound to different types. But it's one energy which is going on transforming itself into every type of energy. So things at the deeper level, even from a scientific point of view, things at a deeper level, they seem to converge and become more and more similar. At a superficial level where we live here, they seem to be so different and unconnected and opposite sometimes and all that, right? But more deep you go into things, the more you see that they are more similar. All things are made from one thing actually, eventually. If science is telling all things are energy, we say, well, even energy is made up of something even more subtle. Nothing is called as existence. That is called as subtle. Now, when we look at a universe with this eye, this type of understanding, I mean understanding. The glasses which we have to put on is the glasses of understanding actually. So, when we look at the universe with this understanding, that is fulfilling what is given here. What is given? Eshavasyopanishad sarvam. Clothe everything with Isha. Clothe the whole universe with Ishvara, with the reality. That is what it is actually a command. Grammatically speaking. Because of the form of the word. When you look, see the whole universe as Brahman, Ishvara, or whatever name you give to that reality. So that grammatical understanding usually not taken, in a very simpler form is taken. It is telling what we should do. It should be clothed with Ishvara. So the ordinary regular translation of this verse is, the universe is pervaded by Ishvara. Everything is Ishvara. But actually they are one and same really. The grammatical understanding or this understanding, they are not very far off. Because if it is saying, the first grammatical, you should see everything as Ishvara. Well, the only way that can happen is if everything already is Ishvara. So from that level, both are one and same. The two interpretation, the two translation. But in the first grammatical translation, you should, it is actually telling about sadhana. Sadhana means spiritual practice, because it is recognizing that we don't, but we should. We don't see everything as Ishvara. We see things as covetable. The moment we see something in the world, we immediately, oh, where did you get it? How much did you pay? What material is it made from? No, where is Ishvara and all that? Ishvara is totally gone out of the... Yeah. You're thinking, you know, क्या बात है, बहुत सुंदर है. कहाँ से आया? कहाँ से मिला? Where you got it? Where is it available? Like that. Cost. And then you, in your mind, psychologically, you're doing a cost-benefit analysis. Made from this type of cheap material, but cost too much. No. Oh, it is made from very expensive material, but you got it at a very good cost. That in that type of living, there is no place for Ishvara. You know, Ishvara has gone totally out of the mind. Not even remotely close. So this is how we live in this world. So, but from that state of living, we have to now come to a state where we start seeing everything as Ishvara. When I see it, in the first instance, I should see its existence value. It exists or not. It exists. You see now, when you start thinking about does it exist or not, then all about price and this and that, all that thing is already gone, isn't it? So we have to shift our mind from the superficial living which we live to a more fundamental living. That anything we see, if you have ever read the writings of, or the sayings of Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, he was the Guru of Swami Vivekananda, you will see how wonderfully it doesn't matter what he sees. The moment he sees that, he will interpret that thing from the absolute standpoint, from God's standpoint. And he'll get some example. But the moment we see anything, we quickly relate it to some past memory, some past experience, and we start thinking, yeah. Oh, where did you get that? Oh, I got this in Singapore last time. Oh, I found one exactly like that in Vancouver, BC. So now you start comparing Singapore, Vancouver, BC. That's how we live, right? And Ishvara is shut out from our mind. But the moment we see anything, we should start thinking from a deeper perspective. You see that we do that ordinarily, but we do it from a very relative standpoint. Like for example, this object, when you see how many of us are there in this room, each one of us sees it, we will see it from a different standpoint. If there's a businessman in the room, he'll think how much I can buy it for and how much I can sell it for. Right? And if there is a Swami in the room, he'll think, these are very small glasses. I like small glasses. He likes to have everything very small and light. So he'll see that from one perspective. Then if there's an ophthalmologist in the room, he'll think, those are tested glasses or just reading glasses? He'll start analyzing that from his professional standpoint. And another person will start thinking, I don't have a glasses, maybe Swamiji can give me his glasses. Start thinking about his shortcoming. I don't have it. Everybody will see this thing and think something else based on his place in life, what he does in life and all that kind of thing. Totally different it will be. Now, when we do that, it means to say my particular preoccupation in life makes me look at the world in my own way. And that person's occupation in life will make him look at the world in his way. But in spite of having different preoccupation and occupations in life, all of us should develop this one special way of looking at the world. That is called the spiritual vision. Occupation aside, that is, okay, but that occupation is also not antithetical to a spiritual vision. I may have my occupation way of looking at the world. That is okay. But that is not adverse to or antithetical to a spiritual outlook at the same time. The two of them are not opposed to each other. We can do both at one and the same time. Like an ordinary person also. He can be a doctor, but he can be a businessman at the same time. A businessman doctor. Like a doctor who owns the whole medical complex. So while he is a doctor, seeing about patients and all that, he owns the medical complex where all the doctors practice. So at the same time, he's a business. But the two are not opposed. Nah? They can go together. So the spiritual vision is actually not opposed to anything. We can do whatever we do and still have a spiritual. If it were opposed, then it's not spiritual. Spiritual vision can go with anything. So now, here is what is being demanded of us in the grammatical construction of the Eshavasya. A spiritual vision is being demanded of us. We should look at the world with our spiritual eye, with the spiritual goggles. See everything as Ishvara. That is the Eshavasya vidam sarvam. Yet kinchit jagatyam jagat. Means whatever you see in this world transpiring, moving and happening and all, every iota of it is pervaded by Ishvara, and that's how we should see it. That is the idea. Lift our vision one notch higher, because right now we are just in our little niche. Each person in his own little niche and seeing the world in which way he wants to see it and all. But the Shastra is asking us to have a common vision of the reality which pervades everything. So that reality pervades all things from a spiritual standpoint. I told you just now, even from a scientific standpoint, there is only energy which is there. The world is made up of energy only, from a scientific standpoint. So we just take that actually we give that energy also a name. We call it Shakti. You heard that word, na? Shakti is name which is given to the Devi. Another name for the Devi is Maya, Prakriti, Pradhan. All of those words you have heard already. All of these words just refer to the same thing which science calls as energy. Because we say the Devi is Shakti. Shiva Shakti, you heard, na? So, the universe is made up of energy. The universe is made of Prakriti. The universe is made of Maya. The universe is whatever you want to say. So we say, science stops there. But we go one step further to say, that Maya also, that energy, that Shakti, whatever you call it, that is also made up of existence, which we call as Satchit Ananda, which we call as Brahman, which we call as Parameshwara, which we call as Paramatma, which we call as Ishvara. Whatever name there you also now you want to, you call. When that Brahman is seen with his Maya Shakti, Maya power, or when that Brahman manifests as Maya or whatever Shakti, then we call him Ishvara. So they're all technical names, but anyway, in the end, even subtler than energy is existence. Now see, energy itself we can't see. There's energy in this room, but we cannot see it. Energy is there everywhere, but we cannot see it. In the very same way, existence is even more subtle, how we'll see. So that existence is what here called as Isha, sometimes called as Ishvara, Parameshwara, Paramatma, all that. So when we look now, look with the goggles of this understanding that everything is Ishvara, everything is existence. Now see, this hand exists or not? Yes. The space on this side of the hand exists. The space on this side exists. So when the existence of hand stops, the existence of space starts. So where is existence absent? Existence is not absent. Anyway, see, Bhagwan Shri Ram meets Valmiki ji in Ayodhya Kand of Ramayana. Bhagwan Ram is coming to the forest with Lakshmana Sita ji, and he meets Valmiki ji near Chitrakoot. So he tells Valmiki ji, please tell me a place where I can live. Because he comes to the forest for the first time. Valmiki ji is living there. Please tell me a place where I can live, where I can stay. Valmiki ji smiles and says, Prabhu, you please tell me a place where you are not already. Then I will tell you where to live. No, Bhagwan Ram smiles. Because where is there a place where Ram is not there? But Valmiki ji says, but I know what you mean. You want a place where his body can stay. But the Lord himself is already all pervasive. So the Upanishad is inviting us, exhorting us, requesting us. This is how you should see the universe. When you look with the eye of Ishvara. Everything. I touch Ishvara, And Ishvara is touching Ishvara. Because everything is existence. That's why Brahmarpanam, Brahmavihi, Brahmagno, Brahmanahutam, Brahmeva Tena Gantavyam, Brahma Karma Samadhina. The verse in the 4th chapter which we chant before we eat. Brahma, the reality is that which is being offered into the fire. The fire is Brahman, and the ghee is Brahman, and Brahman is being offered by Brahman into Brahman. That type of vision. So that's what it's saying. Eshavasyopanishad. So look with that eye. Look with that understanding. Oh, everything is Ishvara. Hinduism has this most wonderful teaching to offer to humanity. If this teaching is adopted by humanity, all our fighting and killing and all such things which is going on in this world will all stop immediately, Because this thing is not adopted by humanity, Therefore, all of this fighting and killing. And you think this fighting and killing will stop? No. No. Two biggest religions in the world, they are at it. And that will not stop. Because karma breeds karma. Correct or not? If you go and you wipe out a whole civilization, at some time your civilization will be wiped out. Karma breeds karma. That will not stop. Only the kind of vision can stop those type of things. So we have this type of vision and understanding to offer to humanity. And if humanity doesn't take it, this thing will go on and on and on. I see you as different. You are not connected to me. No, this is telling we are all connected intimately with one thread of existence running through all things. You are me and I am you. If that understanding is adopted by humanity, then how can I lift my hand to strike you? I will be striking myself. So, when this is adopted, only all these worldly things will stop. But as long as this vision is not adopted, I see myself as unconnected to you, separate from you, and that will lead to other things now. Somehow I am privileged, I am better, I have better understanding, I know better, I this, I that, and since you don't know, then I have to somehow correct that. Since you are less and I am better, then I have to do something about that. And then that leads to other things and then big fighting and killing and all that. This is where the problem comes, you see, because this understanding is not there. Eshavasyopanishad sarvam yat kinchit jagatyam jagat tena tyakte. Now see, what we were just talking about really is a renunciation of an old view, an older vision, and the replacement of that older vision, older view with a new vision. What is going on here or not? What is our older vision is, we see everything unconnected, unrelated, right? So I have to drop that older vision and replace it with a new vision. What? All things are connected with by Ishvara, by that pure existence. So, in the removing of the older view, there is renunciation. In other words, I have to be prepared to drop that older view. It is very difficult to drop because I am so attached to my individual things, you know. I am so attached to my name and fame, my power and position and possessions and all such things. So, no, it's okay. Yesterday I was thirsty, so I requested water. Otherwise, I usually don't drink water. So, the request which is made by the Upanishad is to see everything as Ishvara. So I am saying, to fulfill that request, Vairagya, detachment, Tyag has to be practiced. Because it requires giving up on old ways of seeing things and vision and all that kind of thing. So, if that is Tyag or renunciation is not practiced, we will not be able to have the new vision. It is very, very difficult to change a person's views and his opinions and the way he sees things and the things he likes and like it's very difficult. Therefore, it says tena tyaktena. By that renunciation, bhunjitaha means you live and enjoy life. If I don't renounce that old view, you see, look here. Human beings are only trying one thing every day in their life. That is to enjoy, isn't it? To have happiness. But that is what we are all looking for. You don't go to You don't travel from here to New York to suffer. You don't say, I'm going to New York. Why are you going to New York? I want a little suffering, I don't have enough here. Who says? Anything we do, if I go to New York, I'm seeing something good which will happen from that. Ensue. Something good will ensue from going to New York. Otherwise, I'll go. So the human being, everything he does, he sees something good will ensue from that. And it will bring some joy, some happiness, something. Then only he does it. So now, everything which he is doing, that is what he is looking for. So the person who is holding on to something in this world, he only sees that something good will ensue. The Upanishad is giving a bigger vision, a broader vision. You want good, you want joy, you want happiness. And bhunjitaha means enjoy, should be enjoyed, right? But our calculation is always wrong. Human beings are noted for this. We always make wrong calculation. This is an amazing thing. We have this from the childhood. Look here. You see a little child. He is 2 years old. In this hand, you have a nice ice cream cone, right? In this hand, you have $100. That 2-year-old is there, you give. Which one he'll take? He'll take ice cream cone. You see, at that age, his intellectual development is not there. He cannot calculate. With this $100, I can get 50 ice cream cones. Isn't it? He cannot calculate that thing. Now, he sees ice cream cone $100. What I'll do with this $100? Give me this ice cream cone. So there are two things there. One is, he is moved by instantaneous gratification. This is one disease of human being. Instantaneous gratification he wants. Second thing, where his welfare lies, he always looks the opposite side. Where he can get 50 ice cream cone, he's not looking there. He's looking where he can get one. Because of the disease of instantaneous gratification. These two strong things we have in us. So now, because we have this disease of instantaneous gratification, when we see any little opportunity to give us some joy in this world, we immediately get taken over by that opportunity. I grab it. Upanishad is telling, Arey, if you look away from that instantaneous gratification and you look towards the absolute reality, you will get eternal gratification. The gratification is so much more. But he has this disease, he has to be instantaneously gratified. This is taught to us from childhood itself. I'm sure your parents would have taught you over and over and over. Beta, you go to school now, study now, put some effort now. It may be uncomfortable, you may not like, you may want to go and play, you may want to do this, but now is the time for you to study, because later on it will bring great benefit. So you sacrifice now, so that later on it will bring great benefit. That is being taught in this everyday living. So the child who doesn't want to make that little sacrifice now, and he wants to leave his schoolwork and only go and play, then he is like that same one who is taking that ice cream cone and leaving the $100. So the parents are trying to teach, the civilization, the tradition is trying to teach also. And no. Leave this ice cream cone now. You may not get instantaneous gratification. You keep this $100, you will get 50 ice cream cones. But because we suffer that disease and we cannot resist the temptations of the mind, no. In the same way, all the worldly things, they attract us. But in that attraction, we get sidetracked. And the absolute reality, which is infinite gratification, infinite joy, that we live. So here see, bhunjitaha, word there, which is, yes, enjoy. But enjoy how? Tena tyaktena, by giving up your vision and understanding of a limited world, and means renouncing that limited vision and adopting the infinite vision of Ishvara in all things. And by that, if you enjoy, your enjoyment will be infinite. Otherwise, what little enjoyment we get only here, a little bit there, and we become slaves to that, because we are knocking from pillar to post, looking for a bit of joy here, a bit of joy there, a bit of joy. And you know, the nature of the world is everything is temporary. So I tell you, look how human beings enjoy this world. This is a funny thing. I get something which I like, right? Because I like it and I get it. While enjoying it, at that time, my enjoyment is mixed with the fear that pretty soon this thing will come to an end. So while enjoying it, my enjoyment is watered down with the fear that pretty soon it will. Now, what type of enjoyment is that also? Even when we get something, we cannot enjoy that thing properly. It is diluted. The enjoyment is diluted with so many other concerns. I'll show you. You love jalebi. And you get the best made jalebi from somewhere in Gujarat. Right? You haven't had this thing in 25 years. 30 years you haven't had it, and suddenly you get this nice ring of jalebi. So you know I'm going to enjoy this, and your mouth start watering also. The moment you put that thing in your mouth, you say, yes, I used to enjoy this thing when I was younger, but now I'm nearing 60. What about diabetes? So the enjoyment is there, but now it is watered down by a fear that you may get diabetes. Diluted. The enjoyment is diluted. So even when you get something in this world to enjoy also, you cannot enjoy that thing. This is the nature of worldly enjoyment. So if you start studying worldly enjoyment, you will see it has so many shortcomings, so many problems with worldly enjoyments. Amazing thing. See another thing about worldly enjoyment. See, bhunjitaha, what we are talking about. But the Upanishad is telling how to enjoy. Enjoy by renouncing that older vision and having the new vision that all things are Ishvara. That type of joy which will come to that person's heart will be of infinite nature. Not the worldly enjoyment only which is there. I will be in a state of bliss all the time. The sky fall off, I will still be blissful. Here, we're just worrying about the sky falling down and we are miserable. Means worrying about what will happen if this country gets a nuclear arm. Worrying about what will happen if such and such new president comes in, and if the GOP comes back, and if the Democrats come back. And worrying about future. That is how our life is miserable. But a person who has this vision of Ishvara being all things, he's all the time at peace and so joyous. So that requires a lot of renunciation. I'm going to renounce this old view and adopt a new view. So this is just a hint in this whole process of renunciation. Don't cling on to worldly things, because kasyas vidhanam. To whom does all of this wealth and worldly things belong in any case? To whom do they belong? Don't hold on to anything in this world. Magrida. Don't grab on. Means grab on mentally. We don't grab on physically. No, we are not holding anything, right? But mentally, in our mind, we are holding on to so many things and having that feeling of me and mine. Tulsidas is mind. This feeling of me and mine, that itself is Maya. Mayaru Murtote Maya. That itself is Maya in manifest. This feeling, this is mine, this is mine. I saw a nice cartoon. You know, one politician is there now, Donald Trump. He made some comment. What is that? We'll send back all of these immigrants. Huh? Right under his, there's a native Indian. In one cartoon there, Donald Trump will send back all of these immigrants. And below that, the next slide, native Indian is there. I'm waiting, when will you go?
Exactly.
See?
Exactly.
So, the one comes, one generation comes on the Mayflower and they land here and then they, snatch all the land from the people who were there before. This is my land. Huh? That strong feeling of mine. Before you came, that belonged to somebody else. And then you will not be here forever. Isn't it? Forever we will not be here. We will be gone. This will belong to somebody else. When we start thinking like this, then we give up this constant habit of holding on to things. Gandhiji used to say, we are just all trustees, A trustee really doesn't own. See, 5 trustees are there in the temple. They don't own the temple. The temple is put for them to take care of. And pretty soon these trustees will be gone. The new trustees will, but temple will remain. In the same way, everything in life which is there, which we consider to be ours, it will go to somebody else's hand. We are just a trustee really, for some time. And sometimes I wonder how human beings don't think. Everything in the world, we say, I use this car, I use this house, I use this property, I use this bicycle, I use so many things in this world, right? I use this money. And if I look here, if there were 5 billion in the world when you came, the money used you. It increased from 5 billion to, because money every day is increasing, wealth is increasing, right? So the money increased from 5 billion to 10 billion during your lifetime. And then the money remained and you? Who used who? The money used you to increase and he remained. And you?
Wow.
The wealth is increasing and the wealth remains. And that fellow was used by the wealth to increase. And this man is gone. So, Madhura, don't hold on to anything in this. Don't hold on to it. Don't covet anybody's wealth. Don't hold on to wealth. Or don't. For whose is wealth? The question is also. Kasyas vidhana. Wealth, in other words, wealth doesn't. Do you know, in our Puranas, is the most wonderful thing. Lakshmi ji is the goddess of wealth. Right? This symbolism, eh? Lakshmi is the goddess of wealth. And Lakshmi ji's vehicle is an owl. She has an owl, Ullu. And owls only fly in the night. It means to say wealth comes overnight. And overnight also it? It comes overnight and goes overnight. We should, this is the nature of the world. Things come and go. Why am I holding on? Hold on to that absolute reality which doesn't come or doesn't go. It has always been there. So, when the vision is provided in the first line, Eshavasyopanishad sarvam, this is how we should see the world. Everything is provided by Ishvara. The thing which prevents us from realizing that vision in our mind is this holding on to worldly things. We hold on too strongly to worldly things and we give too much of importance to the non-essential. That disease which we have. We give too much of importance to the thing which is not essential. To the thing which is going to bring less benefit than more benefit. Like the child, instead of holding on to the $100 bill, which will give him 50 ice cream, you hold on to one which only it will finish it. All of this makes sense only when you understand that we are looking for one thing only. Every human being is only looking for one thing. We are only looking for happiness. Please remember this. We want nothing else in this world except happiness. The only thing is that we have wrongly calculated how and where we will get this happiness. That is a wrong calculation on our part. You see? And we seek the thing and we run after the thing which will give us only some mega trivial little bit of joy, and then the next day we are miserable. When the joy is gone, I told you this now, while enjoying itself we cannot enjoy properly. Then when it is gone now, oh, suddenly the bitter taste is gone. I am so miserable. So the exhortation in the Upanishad is a very nice one. You start, you really enjoy life, really come to enjoy the absolute bliss, but only by renunciation. This is the only means, actually. Have you heard? We chant, na karmana na prajaya dhane na tyage naike amritatvama nashuhu. That line is telling the same thing. Na karmana na prajaya dhanena. Not by all this ritual, karma, all things we are doing. Na karmana, na prajaya. Not by having, so many different offsprings and by my life will be happy when I have 2-3 children. And you don't know. Life will be happy when you have children. You may be miserable. They become the source of misery. How you know? You don't know. Na karmana na prajaya dhanena, na dhanena, but not by wealth. The line is telling. Na karmana na prajaya dhanena tyagena ekena amritatvama. That is the next phrase. Only by
renunciation.
Yes. We chant 100 times over. But this is the meaning. The renunciation is the most one. I tell you, there is a wonderful line in the 12th chapter which says Tyagat Shanti Anantara. By Tyag, Shanti comes immediately. And the example which is given there, there are some birds, you have seen, I'm sure you have seen, I've seen many times. They are small and there is a bigger bird which is passing and they attack that bigger bird. Because the smaller bird has more agility and that bigger bird, he cannot turn fast, So this fellow could give him a pick there and then go away. And this fellow can't turn fast enough to catch that smaller bird. Because he's faster, swifter and everything, more agile. So I've seen that here, I don't know if I have not seen. But you have to come down to the Caribbean and to South America and all. There are so many different species of birds. This number of species and all is vast, right? So you'll see all sorts of things. So we have something in Trinidad called a kiskidi. That kiskidi is a smaller bird, and if any other bigger chicken hawk or anything is passing there, this kiskidi could attack that fellow also, because he's smaller and swifter. So one hawk was going, with a piece of meat in his mouth. Some chicken, something he caught. So this kiskili bird, he saw, and then a few other kiskilis also saw, and they pounced on that fellow to get that, because they are carnivorous also. They pounced on him. He'll get this. 5 or 10 pounds simultaneously. He's a big bird, right? A hawk is a much bigger bird than this kiskili. So he could fight off. He could fight off for some time because of his size and all that kind of thing. But how long he'll fight? And they are very agile, so they can pick from all sides. They can pierce him from all sides with their beak, you know. Then, after fighting off for a few minutes, resisting and warding them off, he did one simple thing. All are picking and piercing and they're pricking him from all sides, you know. He just let that meat go. When it fell, they all now he's left there most happy and peaceful now. This example which is given for Tyag, for that line in Bhagavad Gita, you know. There is immediate peace from renunciation. But if you could renounce anything in this world and just look at the mind thereafter, you will see how peaceful the mind has become. I'll give you an example from everyday life. You're always attached to your family members. You know, I'm attached to my wife, to my husband, to my children, to my mother, to my father. Those people who are close, we are attached. So suppose this, or brother, sister, sibling, this, that, right? So suppose one of your brother, he has some drinking problem. Let us just say. Or drug problem. No. Because he is your brother, that affects you. My brother has his drug problem, you know, and it pains me. And we have been trying for a long time to try to get him to stop, but we can't. Let me just show you. If the neighbor's brother has a drug problem, that doesn't affect you in any way. But because this is your brother, it affects. Neighbor's brother, he doesn't know. The moment we can drop that relationship which we are talking about and hold this brother just like I hold the neighbor's brother, because that will also have a drug problem, but that's not affecting me. But this one has drug problem, it is affecting. I can drop that relationship and see this brother just as I see the neighbor's brother. When I see the two of them on same footing, my problem will be immediately gone. If I don't drop that and I keep seeing him as my brother, this thing will pay me for the rest of my life. The tyag which we are talking about is something has to happen in the mind. Like for example, we used to look at our Gurudev Swami Chinmay, and the Gurudev had a sister. So people used to talk about that sister, you know. This is Gurudev's sister. So we used to think, this is Gurudev's sister. I wonder what will happen when he meets his sister. Then one day we saw, he met his sister. And what happened? Nothing happened. He's meeting this sister just like he meets everybody else. But when we meet our sister, oh my God, so long I haven't seen you. There's so much of hugs and kisses and this and oh my God, and I brought this for you. I'm so happy. And you remember this. When Gurudev met his sister, he was meeting that sister just like he met every other human being that came in front of him. There was nothing special for this sister or that person or the other person. It means to say, a spiritual person lives his life to that level where everybody will really become my sister or my brother. So there is no special thing. So that happens only when I am able to renounce my strong identification only with a certain person. And that is what we have. So see, the spiritual aspirant therefore has to move from this type of living where I am identified only with certain people and move to the other type of existence. So Tena Tyaktena is a very, very important part of the mantra, because to have the vision which the first part of the mantra is asking us to have, we can only have that vision through renunciation, really. Tena Tyaktena is a very important thing, because there's no use telling something but don't tell how to do. One centipede, you know, he has 100 legs. He went to a rat and told that rat, man, I am suffering like anything. The rat said, what do you mean suffering? He said, I have leg pain. Now, human being, right, he has 2 legs. So if he has leg pain, his pain will be less. This fellow has 100 legs. So if he has leg pain, can you imagine? They're like Ravan has a cold. Ravan has a cold. He has 10 heads. So which nose he'll blow? So this centipede went and told the rat, I have leg pain. The rat said, that is the problem with you centipedes. You have too many legs. If you had only 4 legs like me, your pain would have been 125th. You have 100 legs, so your pain is 25 times more, isn't it? So the centipede said, what you are telling is right, that is correct thing. I don't know why I have so many legs. I should have only 4 legs like you. Then I'll have less pain. Now you tell me how to get only 4 legs. That rat said, look here, I make policy, I don't know how to implement it. Look here, if you make some policy, you should also tell how to implement. What is the sense you tell that type of policy and nobody knows how to implement that thing? So, if the Upanishad is telling, you see Ishvara in all things. You see everything as Ishvara, but it is not telling how to do that. That Upanishad is useless. Isn't it? So how to do it? And that is given. This is called instrumental case in Sanskrit. Instrumental means third case. The means by which something happens. The means by which something is accomplished. The means by which you do something. So the means by which we can have this vision is only Tyaktena. It is given in third case. By renunciation. Tyaktena. Then only Bhujita, really you can enjoy this world. Any other type of enjoyment is soon going to lead to sorrow. You know that? It's of some sort. Because all enjoyment, worldly enjoyment has a cost. The cost is what brings the sorrow. You see those people, they go in the roller coaster, 6 flag and 9 flag or whatever. They scream and all that kind of thing. And they have great time. Bungee jump, this, that, all kind of thing. Huh? The enjoyment is there for 3 minutes. It will last for 3 minutes. When they come back, chakkar. Yeah, they get chakkar and start vomiting and all sorts of things. So the enjoyment has a cost. All enjoyment is like that. Huh? So the real way to enjoy really is to renounce. The person who is renounced, he can really see. It is like if you are in the middle of the marketplace, right? Big market is there. They're selling vegetables and selling this and that, and people are shouting and bargaining and all sorts of hustle and bustle going on there. Din and raw of the marketplace, and you're in the midst of that. Then your ears will be bombarded, and you'll see this one bump into that one, and a vegetable seller bumps into you, and cows in India, cows and buffalo, everybody will walk in between there, isn't it? In the marketplace. So if you're part of that, then you become victim to the whole. When you leave that, and you stand on a tall building, and you watch there, you will see now one buffalo coming, and you know this buffalo is going to bump into that man, and it's around a corner, and that man is coming at fast speed. So you see, buffalo is coming along here, and this man is coming along here. It's a blind corner, right? You know that they're going to bump, and you are in this distance. But what you do? You just watch and you can't do anything. And that all things of course also happening by karma only. So it is buffalo is coming this way, this man is going this way, and it's a blind corner. They will hit each other. But if you are part of that whole fray, you will get hit also. So standing apart from everything and watching, now you'll see. You say, look at this. This buffalo is coming, this man is coming. Both of them are surely going to clash into each other. And you see it is out of your hands also. You can't do anything. So then what it becomes? It really becomes entertainment only. If you can only watch and do nothing, what else will it become?
Pain.
It will become entertainment because you know that it is happening by all karma. You have to have that understanding also. That is happening by all karma. You can't do anything. Like all the killing which is going on in the world today, who will stop it? Nobody can stop it. All happening by karma only. Can you imagine what type of history human civilization has had? And how many communities have wiped out and killed other communities? Where all that karma will go? How much of genocide this world has seen? The people who committed the genocide, where all the karma will go? It has to still work itself? Who will stop? So then the person who understands this whole big picture and this whole puzzle going on, the only thing he can do is sit down and watch. That requires a tremendous amount of renunciation. Otherwise we have a very strong, I will do this, I will do that, and I will change the world and all that. The world will change you. Tena tyaktina, renunciation, mentally, physically, all sorts of renunciation have been spoken about. A great amount of physical renunciation is required, but more mental. Physical renunciation means at your level. When we say physical renunciation, hey, look here, I renounce this I go and sit down there in a nightclub till past midnight gambling. So I have to physically leave gambling and drinking all night. To what happens, I physically leave. But then now we come to all these things which we have to mentally leave. So, tena tyaktena buddhitaha ma gradaha kasyas vidyanam is also further hint. And after I have practiced all of this, sitting now, meditation is required for really realizing that I am one with this whole reality. Because Eshavasyopanishad sarvam, when he said idam sarvam, all this is pervaded by Ishvara, means I am included in that. I am included in that. I am also pervaded by Ishvara. Ishvara pervades every iota of my own being. Saying it now, I just said it, Upanishad said it, but that doesn't make any difference. So this mantra is also telling about meditation. I have to sit down and feel my oneness with all things. I do not end here. Existence makes up this body, but existence makes up the space right next to the body also. Existence makes up the air, the light, everything around. They all exist. So existence makes me up and makes up everything. That thing can be realized only by meditation. Because I am so taken up with, so convinced of my limited existence. So I have to, in other words, unconvince myself as though. We come with a, clean slate is always best. But we come with a slate already, everything is written. You have to make that slate clean. One teacher put a sign in front of his house. Tabla lessons given here. If you do not know any tabla, $20 an hour. If you know a little bit of tabla already, $40 an hour. Because when you come there, whatever you know, first that teacher has to remove that thing. One fellow was losing his hair, He went to a barber shop. The sign was written there, $7 for a haircut. So he told that barber, I want a haircut, but I'm losing my hair. I have less hair, so you'll charge me less? Barber said, less? I charge you more. Why more? First I have to find those hair. I have to look for that. So now I was telling that clean slate is best. So we come with a slate, so many things already written. So what? I am this body, I am limited, I am this, I am that. That slate we come with. In meditation, that slate will be, yes, meditation to me. No, I am not this body. That's why you see the verse. Mano buddhi ahankar chitta nidaham nacha shrotra jihve nacha ghrana netra. I am not this body, not mind, not ego, not the chitta, ahankar, ego, and I am not these things. Intellect. I am not the ears, eyes, nose, tongue. What am I? Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. I am Chit Ananda Rupa. So, singing it is one thing, knowing it by heart is another thing, one thing, but really meditating on that and wiping out the old slate. There is a long-standing conviction that I am this body. Wiping out that. That happens only through meditation. This is why meditation is prescribed. Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsaha. And a person, let me tell you, Sri Ram Krishna Paramahamsa used to stress on this point. Bhagavan Shankaracharya also stresses on this point. He gives an example of Brahmarakita. What? In Atma Bodh you would have studied. That wasp goes and brings a worm and puts that worm in its nest, and a few times stings that worm. So the worm is so fearful of that wasp. The worm looks at that wasp constantly without shifting its eyes, looking at the wasp only. And after a little while, that worm also metamorphosizes into a wasp. Because of constantly focusing on that wasp, he changes into a wasp. And that this is true for life in general. If I only, suppose to the exclusion of all things, I only look at a cow. Only the cow I am looking at. I don't consider anything in this world. After a long time of looking, I myself will become cow. I will start acting like a cow, because you were not paying attention. For 20 years you are not paying attention to anything else. You only pay attention to this cow. 20 years you meditate on that cow. After 20 years you will eat grass also. One fellow, he used to sit in his porch and a cow used to pass. That cow used to stop in front and eat some leaves from his fence. So every day, and that cow's horn was like that. Round. One day he got his head stuck in that horn. His head inside the cow's horn. So the cow started bawling and he started bawling, shouting, screaming. So all the neighbors came running there and they saved that cow from this man. So, when they pulled him out. What is the matter with you? Before putting your head inside there, you should have thought. He said, Daddy, what do you think I did? For 3 weeks I was thinking. My head will fit in there. 3 weeks he was thinking that thing. The idea is, anything you think about that long enough, pretty soon you will end up there. This is a principle actually of the human mind. So these great inventors and great discoverers and all of them, right? They have discovered things only. Newton and Einstein and all the great people who discovered things, right? Because their mind was focused there. The focusing of the mind is a tremendous power of human being. So now, in meditation, I focus on this truth of the Upanishad. But Aham Brahmasmi, I am that Brahman. I am one with the Ishvara which pervades all things. Meditation is required. Meditation means I have to keep my presence there. That is it means. So Eshavasyopanishad sarvam requires first that I renounce all my ties to the world. Second, that I sit in meditation. So this is the path of contemplation, path of jnana, the path of meditation. This is one path. Then there's a path of seva, service. There's a path of karma, what is called karma yoga. That is given in the second verse. That we'll see tomorrow. Second verse today. Okay. Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopal Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Gopal Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopal Jaya Jaya Govinda Jaya Jaya Gopal Jaya motivated by the thought of some happiness through some acquisition down the road, right? Because now I'm studying hard, I have some goal, and I'm thinking in my mind that when I reach there and I get that, my life will be happy, peaceful, this, that, accomplished, all that kind of thing. So that is our present source of motivation. That thing which I perceive down the road, that becomes my source of motivation. The teaching of Sanatana Dharma, the teaching of the Bhagavad Gita is, I should not be motivated by that sort of thing, because remember, that is also, first of all, uncertain. Second, any joy I have in life later on, that will be also sorrow accompanying that joy, right? So this is what Gita is teaching. The source of my inspiration for doing what I do should not be the seeing of joy down the road. The source of inspiration should be my great desire to fulfill my duty. The teaching of Bhagavad Gita is a teaching of duty. That look, I came into this world, humanity has given me clothes to wear. I have never made an inch of cloth in my life. I have never invented one vegetable. I have never invented one spice, one masala. I have never invented a car. I have never invented anything. So the universe into which I came gave me everything. To this universe, I owe it as a duty to make my contribution back to this world. And the better I do that, the more proficient and efficient I am at doing that, the more happy my life will be. So the source of inspiration should not be perceiving happiness down the road. The source of inspiration should be that I am going to fulfill my duty, and when I fulfill my duty, Bhagavan is telling Arjuna also, Arjuna, your duty as a Kshatriya is to save society. That's what Kshatriyas do. And you stand up and do it. You take to Uttishta Paratapa, you cast off all other things and stand up and do your duty. When that is done properly, then my life will surely be happy. Now, it just means that I should not look at that thing as the source of my inspiration. I should say, yes, I am going to school, I'll study, I'll become a great engineer, a great pilot, a great doctor, whatever it is, I will become that great thing. And through that, I will be able to serve society and perform my duty well towards society. So the source of inspiration should be performance of duty. Then that person really becomes a true sevak, a true sadhak and all that kind of thing. But that usually doesn't happen. Society teaches us what? Even from childhood they tell, you study well, you'll get a good job, you'll make a lot of money. When you make a lot of money, you will be happy. This is what society teaches or not? So what society is teaching, or Bhagavan is teaching Gita, they are two different things. Therefore you see in society nobody is happy. Because society is teaching all wrong thing. I should have such a passion for doing my duty, and it's like Gandhiji, passion for saving this nation. Not only him, all the other people who fought alongside of him. Gurudev, our Swami Chinmay, a passion for sharing Vedanta with the whole world. Humanity should know this Vedanta. Humanity should know what is there. So that thing should be the source of my inspiration, not what society teaches. What our parents teach, really, that thing is so flimsy.
A thought came to my mind last night about Vedanta. And the thought that ran through my mind was, what shall it profit a man if he gains the whole world and lose his life's goal?
Yeah.
The goal in life.
Yeah.
It's not the soul, right? Life goal. I coined the phrase a little differently. And while you were lecturing, I was thinking about Gandhiji also. When he went, although he saw everything there, he decided to fast to prevent murder being taking place, or war. He decided to fast because that was a contribution he had to make.
The world is again and again proven. If you look at humanity in history, you will see. Like Ravan, for instance. Ravan was so powerful and had so much wealth. The Sidewalk in Lanka was paved with gold. Sidewalk, so much gold. Ravan had Indra and all the devatas at his behest. They were standing with their hands folded in Sundarakand, you will see. Their hands were folded like this, waiting for Ravan to give them a command what to do. And still Ravan was not happy. Still not contented. So this is the philosophy which society teaches. That when we acquire all of these things, we will be happy. The philosophy which Bhagavan is teaching in Gita is get your inspiration from a deep desire and passion to uphold dharma, to uphold what is right, what is good, and the first and fundamental thing which is good for all of us is that we get everything from the society, so that we owe our lives to the society. That should be our inspiration. It means our inspiration should come from something more deep, more profound. Not that worldly possession will make me happy. That usually is our inspiration. Some worldly acquisition, name, fame, power, position, money, this, that. We have seen too many examples of people with that, but not yet happy. So the source of inspiration, that we have to think at a deeper level to see what is the source of our inspiration. For doing
Swamiji, in Bhagavad Gita, that sloga, Karmanevadhikarasya,
Yeah.
there is a controversial one, the meaning of that one. When you explain this one, how that becomes controversial then?
No, it is not controversial actually. You just have to take the Sanskrit meaning of the verse. Karmani eva adhikaraha te. It means you have the right or the privilege to do work. That's the first phrase, the first pada. Karmani eva adhikaraha te. Adhikara means right, privilege. Like we have rights and privileges in this society, right? Our rights and privileges, they are protected by constitution. So here also, I have the privilege to move this book from here and put it here if I want. Right? That is called right or privilege. I can move it. That's my right. You can't stop me. In other words, that's my right. So we have right or privilege to do any karma. This is the first phrase. Okay. Now, ma phaleshu kadachana. I don't have the right or the privilege for the result. Like when I move it and put it there. Like I move this. Let's take the harmonium, most stark example. It's here. I have right and privilege if I want, I put it there. But the result we don't know. The next person may stomp his foot there and break his leg. Correct or not? Can I say by putting it there, A, B, C, D should happen? Do I have that right? It's not within my power, isn't it? What the result of putting it there is, that is not in my, that is in the power of Ishvara. Really, I can't say. Countless result may happen. So certain things are in my hands, but certain other things are. See, one nurse was passing on the beach. So you did have a first aid kit with that cross written on it. She's walking with a first aid kit along the beach, going to work in the morning. The previous night there was a party on the beach. And when parties are there, people throw cups and glass and bottles and they throw everything. The beach was littered with bottles. And you know, people, drunk people and all. Some broken bottles were there also. So she put down her first aid kit and started picking up broken bottles. Because somebody may come and step on that. While picking up broken bottles, one man was walking, tripped on her first aid kit and fell and broke his leg. Now you see this thing. You have adhikara, right, to do whatever you want to do. But what the results that may come from what you are doing, that is why you have studied Upadesha. Upadesha Sar, the first verse says, Karturajnaya prapyate phalam karma kim param karma tajjadam. The first line is material. Kartuhu ajnaya prapyate phalam. The result of any action cannot be determined by you only. That will be determined by Ishvara. To do the action, you have the adhikara, the right or the privilege. The result, really, you don't have the adhikara. You may desire a certain result, but you cannot guarantee for sure whether that result will happen or not. That is in his hands. So that is the meaning of ma phaleshu kadachana. So this first line is very, very simple, very clear thing. Only a little bit of thinking is required. It will be clarified. The second line, karmani vadhikarasti ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phala hetur bhuhu. I mean, you don't ever hold yourself to be the only determining factor in the acquisition of that result. Don't feel, oh, I did it, so I should get that result. Just now we told, Ishvara is the one who determines whether you will get that results or those results or not. He determines that. You know, just now I saw on BBC or CNN or one of these. It's BBC. A 19-year-old woman is there, girl in college. She is getting 95% in exams consistently. So the final exam now, when she writes, what the result naturally will be in the range of, because throughout the whole 2 years in college there, she's getting that 95%. She's the brightest student in the class. Now, a final exam has come. Naturally, she will be in the same bracket. When her paper came back, she got 0. Now it has become a big sensation on social media and international media and all. In Egypt, this happened just this few days ago. She got 0. So the news article is highlighting how the corruption in Egypt is so much that some big politician or somebody in power, they took her paper and submitted it as their daughter's paper.
Wow.
And they took that other person's paper and submitted it with her name. So when her name came, she got 0.
Wow.
And because of the hierarchy of power and all, she can't do anything to anybody. So the other thing, she turned to social media. These days are serving greatly with these things. So she turned to social media and then to media and all that. So you see. So now, whether that will be resolved or not, she can tackle that hierarchy, She is a simple village person. So now, because of international media and all, it might be resolved. Some people might start looking into all sorts of things and all that. But the fact is now, see, I have the right to write the exam, but what mark will come back there? This wheel is going like this. Who will put a spoke in that wheel? How will you know? Nothing is guaranteed. So writing the exam is in my power. What grade will come back at the end? That is the line. Ma karma phala heturbuhu mate sangostva karmani. And then he says, the last part is that don't also be attached to inaction. Don't just sit there and say, okay, Ishvara is the one who determines. So I will do the action and suppose he doesn't give the fruit. But I don't do. I told now Bhagavad Gita has to be invoked. Bhagavan is telling Arjuna, get up and do your duty. That is my inspiration. Because duty makes a man into a man. Otherwise, Bhagavan insults him like anything. And everybody has duty at their level. A student's duty is to study. Get up and do your duty. When he sees Arjuna doesn't want to do his duty, he calls him all sorts of bad names also. Yes.
What is the difference between Bhavami and Sambhavami?
Bhavami is, I'll tell you this. Sambhavami is what we call in Sanskrit as a upasarga. Upasarga is usually a prefix added in front of a verb or a noun or anything. You can add a prefix, right? It strengthens that verb or noun or whatever. So in this case, I'll show you. I'll show you how. See, suppose I say, I'm going to study dance. I will become a dancer. Right?
Yeah.
So Bhavami means I will become. Bhavishyami. In this case, I'm using future tense. I will become a dancer. Now, this is one statement. I will become a dancer. This is same Bhavishyami in future tense. Bhavami is present tense. So in future tense, I will become a dancer. Now, if I put Sambhavishyami, I will become a perfect dancer. What it does? Means I will become such a good dancer, not just an ordinary dancer, like everybody else.
Strive for a better degree of proficiency.
Correct. Higher, it means to say, it embellishes that verb. I will not just become, I will become well. I will become great, like that.
I see. So, incarnation and reincarnation.
Yes.
So, Sambhavami is only God and
Sambhavami
Bhagavan.
you hear. No. In that case, Bhagavan is not using Bhavami, he is using Sambhavami.
Yeah.
Right? So Bhagavan means to say, when we read that in that context there, that when I come into this world, I come well. Meaning to say, I don't come like an ordinary human being. The ordinary human being comes because he is forced by his past karmas to come there. Bhagavan means to say, I come well, meaning to say, I come and when I want to come out, I come out also. But ordinary human being doesn't come like that. We come and we can say, okay, I want to come out from this sansar now. Hey, you don't have a choice. You can't come into sansar and come out when you want. Bhagavan
So,
comes.
Incarnation and reincarnation are the same, or it is not for humans, it is
Reincarnation is for humans.
reincarnation.
Yes. Jivas, not humans. Jivas. Don't say humans. Jivas means human being can be born as a cat or a dog or anything.
I see.
Yeah.
So the meaning is that Sambhavami Ige, slightly different from that we talk about that, right? One is reincarnate, because we were talking about this in one of the questions. So I didn't understand the meaning, Bhavami and Sambhavami, the meaning of that one.
Yeah, no, so here we cannot translate Sambhavami using incarnation and reincarnation. Huh? It means I come forth, but I come forth well with all my powers, I come forth with all my knowledge, I come forth in such a perfect way. That is Sambhavami. But in human being's case, that Bhagavan is telling there, but in human being case, we don't come forth. We can also say Sambhavami for a human being, but not in terms of when he comes into the world. Means in terms of I will become a good professor, I will become, because Sambhavami means become.
I see.
The literal meaning of that word is to become. Right? So a person can become, ordinary, but he can become excellent also. So ordinary becoming will be Bhavami. Excellent becoming will be Sambhavami. Yes. That is the idea. So, and those two English words now, they are different. So one is incarnation and one is reincarnation. So Bhagavan is incarnation. Human being is reincarnation. And what is the meaning difference? The difference is suppose I have a lot of anger in this life. When I am born in the next life, that anger by magic it doesn't go away. So it is reincarnated. The same person who is here, same person is born there. Right? So that's called reincarnation. The same thing has just reappeared. That's reincarnation. In Bhagavan's case, it is incarnation. It means to say, Bhagavan will decide, and this life I will come as Agastya, not Agastya, what is it called? Parashuram. I will come as Parashuram with anger, or I will come as Ram with no anger. In our case, we can decide, in this life I have anger, next life when I come I will have no anger. But Bhagavan will say, if Parashuram has so much anger, and just next incarnation, Ram, peaceful. Buddha, peaceful. So the Lord will determine. He will come with this guna, he will come with that guna, he will come for such long time, he will stay, he will do this, he will decide. Human being cannot decide where he will be born. The Lord, I will take birth in Mathura. Did you have an interview with God to say you will take birth in anywhere? We don't. That is called reincarnation. By force of prarabdha karma, we are born somewhere, reincarnated, reappeared. But when not reappearing, he's appearing in this form. And next incarnation, he'll appear in whichever form he wants. So it is not just a reappearance of the same avatar as the previous. So he comes with freedom, he comes well, like that. We come without freedom. Yes. Okay, Hari Om, we shall see tonight.